Lesson 8, Dinosaurs.
Hey there, fellow scientists. It's Pam the paleontologist again. Last time I was here, I gave you a whirlwind tour of the history of life on Earth right up through the time of the Dimetrodons, the first giant reptiles that had big sails on their backs. The age of the Dimetrodons was followed by a time known as the Age of Reptiles. This era, according to some scientists, began approximately 245 million years ago.
This is a Tyrannosaurus rex, or T-Rex as some people call it. It was one of the largest and most fearsome predators ever to walk the earth. We can tell by its teeth that the T-Rex was a meat eater. We also know that it was over 40 feet long and up to 20 feet tall. Judging by the size of its bones, it weighed about 7 tons, or more than 2 average-sized cars. This painting shows a T-Rex facing off against a Triceratops, a dinosaur with long horns and a shield-like plate on its head. Keep in mind, when you look at artwork like this, that nobody today really knows what the dinosaurs looked like. We have only seen their bones. Artists use information supplied by scientists today to try to make a good guess about what dinosaurs looked like when they were alive. They do all this based on their bones. Many people think of dinosaurs as giant reptiles, and in fact, the word dinosaur means terrifying lizard. However, many paleontologists now believe that dinosaurs are more closely related to birds than they are to lizards. Whatever the case may be, there are no dinosaurs on Earth anymore. They have all been extinct, dead and gone, for many years. Now there are just fossilized bones of dinosaurs buried in the Earth's crust. Here is my personal favorite, the Stegosaurus. Like Triceratops, the Stegosaurus was a herbivore, or a plant eater. But it had pretty good ways of defending itself against the likes of T-Rex and other meat eaters. Stegosaurus had hard, sharp plates on its back, which would have made it difficult to bite. But, just in case anyone tried, the Stegosaurus also had a spiky tail that could really do some damage. How do we find out and learn about these incredible animals? Some scientists believe that dinosaurs ruled the Earth for more than 100 million years. And their fossilized bones can be found in many parts of the world, including the United States. Dinosaur fossils are hard to find, and excavating or digging up their bones is not as easy as you might think. Once paleontologists find an area that is likely to have dinosaur bones, we move in with our tools and begin careful excavation. Paleontologists must use sharp little knives and small brushes to gradually scrape away the sedimentary rock surrounding the fossils. It will take this paleontologist days and maybe even weeks to excavate this one bone. It's slow work, but to me there's nothing more exciting in the world than carefully uncovering a bone that may have been buried in rock for 100 million years. Here, a paleontologist is excavating a large collection of bones from sandstone cliffs of Dinosaur National Monument, an area located in the states of Colorado and Utah, where we have uncovered hundreds of thousands of dinosaur bones. Can you see all the bones in this picture? That was one big dinosaur. But what did it really look like? It's hard to tell because over time the bones have moved around and become broken. As a paleontologist, I sometimes feel like I spend half my life putting puzzles together. Often we only find a few bones. The rest of the skeleton was long since destroyed, or perhaps even dragged away by a predator many, many years ago. Other times, lots of different dinosaur bones can be mixed in together. We paleontologists have to use our detective skills to figure out which bones belong to which type of dinosaur. In fact, those bones belong to a mighty Camarasaurus. I knew as soon as I saw its head. This plant eater was 60 feet long and weighed about 20 tons. A real whopper. Here's one artist idea of what the Camarasaurus looked like. It could use its long tail to fend off predators. Good thing you don't have to worry about these things anymore. Not all dinosaurs were huge. In fact, some were really small. Take the Compsognathus. This little critter stood just 2 feet tall and scurried around on its 2 little bird-like legs. Compsognathus was a meat-eater that fed on little lizards. We know this because paleontologists found parts of fossilized lizard in the stomach cavity of Compsognathus fossils. What happened to the dinosaurs? You can't go and see a live T-Rex at the zoo because dinosaurs are extinct. Some scientists believe that dinosaurs all died about 65 million years ago. According to the fossil records, though, the extinction of dinosaurs was quite sudden. Why? That's something paleontologists have been trying to answer ever since the first dinosaur bones were discovered and identified nearly 200 years ago. For years, many scientists believed that extraordinary geologic events, such as supervolcanoes, must have had something to do with it. These days, however, many scientists believe that the dinosaur extinction was caused by a giant meteorite from outer space. There are billions of meteors or burning chunks of debris in outer space. Some meteors are quite large, but most are tiny, between the size of a sand grain and a baseball. Meteors are whizzing around all over the place in outer space. Occasionally, a meteor crashes toward the Earth. When this happens, the meteor hits the atmosphere at an incredible speed, and usually burns up as it enters the uppermost parts of the Earth's atmosphere. Occasionally, bits and pieces of meteors survive their trip through the atmosphere and actually fall to the Earth. This is very rare, but it does happen from time to time, and it is possible to find pieces of them on the ground. When part of a meteor survives the trip through the atmosphere and lands on Earth, the meteor becomes a meteorite, or a space rock that has landed on Earth. Now let's go back to dinosaur extinction. Some scientists think that the dinosaur extinction was caused by a giant meteorite from outer space. When the meteorite struck the Earth, it sent massive plumes of debris into the atmosphere. This debris would have blocked out the light and energy of the sun, causing much of the Earth's plant life to die and severely lowering the temperature. Most creatures at the time would have been unable to adapt, and they would have died out before the skies had a chance to clear.
Whether this is true or not remains to be seen, though geologists have discovered at least one very large crater that was caused by a meteorite impact about the time the dinosaurs became extinct. Whatever the case, we know that dinosaurs became extinct, making way for new kinds of life on Earth. I, for one, will continue to study the Earth's fossil record, and I am sure we will find the answers someday, because the clues about the history of the Earth are all there in the rocks. Ask my friend Jerry the geologist, and he will tell you the same thing.